Most of the movies we've done for you so far have involved conifers or evergreens, and now that it's autumn here in the UK and broadleaf trees are beginning to drop their leaves, I thought we'd take a look at one or two of those. Working on broadleaf trees is somewhat different from working on evergreens, in as much as a lot of the structure of the tree is built by careful pruning and so on and so forth. The tree that I've bought for you today is a hornbeam. This is collected in Italy, and as you can see, it's a very small leaf variety, and it's got a lot of very fine dense twigging, which ultimately is going to make fantastic bonsai. Looking at this tree, you can see there are more than one or two problems that we've got to address, and it's very difficult to actually figure out what we're going to be able to do with this. This is a tree I've had in the garden for 4, maybe 5 years, and in that time in this pot it's very well established. What I want to begin to do today is to walk you through the design process of this tree. Looking at this tree, we've got 3 primary branches here, here and here. Because this tree has been hit by a rock and then it's grown out fairly flat in every direction, that kind of gives us a little bit of a challenge, but I think that this branch here gives us good taper. It's got lots of nice side branches, and I think that's the one that we're going to use to build the apex of this tree, so I'm now going to remove this one. The reason for removing this branch is primarily because it was coming directly at us, and that's something that never looks particularly good in bonsai. So you can see, having removed that, now we've opened up the trunk. This one now looks very thick and very straight, and it's very ugly at the base where it's been cut, so that's another one that we're going to remove. And all of a sudden, now this is gone, you can see your eyes beginning to move through this part. There's some lovely twists and turns in this old growth here, and also we've got this little guy here, which again has got a nice little turn in it. You can now see that we've got some reverse taper here where this tree has been broken in the past in the mountains, probably been hit by a rock. You can see we've got this beautiful old callus tissue, but then we have got this thick ugly lump here. We've also got some very poor roots where this has been pulled out of the ground when it was hit. So basically carving is going to allow us to reduce this part of the tree. Removing this and also carving part of this lump is going to begin to improve the taper, and then working these roots down to something fairly small and insignificant is going to improve the movement much more. Then I'm going to show you an interesting technique on how to bend this branch to bring it more upright, to give the tree a little bit more height, therefore better movement, because a parallel line in a branch like this never looks good when it's parallel to the surface of the pot. So having moved this up, we're then going to be able to use wire in the conventional way to rearrange all these lovely small twiggy branches to be able to build a nice triangle, which will give us the basis of a very attractive bonsai. Now, having got rid of this branch, you can see this one here is very uninteresting. It's only got a tiny little piece on the end of that, and that's not going to be able to be bent into the design of the tree particularly attractively, so that also can be removed. I know a lot of people would worry about trying to bend a branch this big, and it's something that certainly most people would try and live with. But for me, it's a little bit too horizontal, it's a bit too flat, and so what I need to do is raise that. And the way I'm going to do that is with this. This is a turnbuckle, and you can see the end, which is normally a loop, has been cut off just to create a little fork. We've got this conveniently placed dead spur, and then what I'm going to do is put a block of wood across the pot and also across the soil. That goes underneath the little dead spur, and then we just pop that up onto the wood, and then by unscrewing that, you can see that this branch is moving up nicely. Now, there's obviously a limit to what we can do in terms of bending this branch in one go, because it would very quickly crack, but because this is a very healthy tree, this is full of sap, it's relatively young wood, and you can see it's moving very easily. And basically this turnbuckle will stay here for probably a year, possibly even 2 years, and in that time this branch will create lots of new wood around or just underneath the bark, and in doing so this position will be fixed. And of course with a turnbuckle it's possible that we can give it a little bit of a turn once in a while, and then we can increase the movement on that. So it would be possible to bring this trunk up to here if we wanted to, although I don't think in this instance we're going to need to do that. When bending a thick trunk like this, watch very carefully, because minute little cracks in the bark may begin to appear. If they do, just back it off half a turn and then leave it. 3-4 months down the road we can give it another turn and move it a little bit more. So you can see from this gap here, I've already moved this branch probably nearly 2 inches. And this is a very simple, stress-free way of bending a branch like this, and as you can see it's already improved the flow and the movement through the tree.